Now, Bruce, I'm starting with you. Could you reflect on your performance in 2022? What went well and what went badly?
Okay, thanks, Annabel. We'll look at it from 2 points of view. We'll look at it from the capital side and the income side, since Murray International has the two of those things as the key investment objective. From the capital side, we managed to grow the capital in 2022, which was pleasing. It was done through diversification, having different companies in different sectors in different parts of the world. Obviously, the basic materials and energy stocks and pharmaceuticals did particularly well. And the weaker side of the portfolio were in things like technology and some of our semiconductor holdings. On the income side of the portfolio, it continued to do well after a very difficult 2020. We saw recovery in 21, and that recovery has continued throughout 2022, which was very pleasing as well.
So Gary, how did your 2022 go? What went well and what didn't go so well?
Yeah, so 2022 was a very challenging year for growth stocks, and share prices were pretty weak across the board, save for one or two notable exceptions. So what I was going to highlight was just the fundamentals of the companies that we invest in, where we saw strengthened fundamentals and where we saw weaker fundamentals. So on the stronger fundamental side, I'd say that the cloud stocks are one category where we saw a lot of strength. So companies like Snowflake, the online data warehouse provider, HashiCorp, Datadog, Workday, all these companies have been growing the revenues at really rapid rates through this period. And then in terms of the other areas of strength, it's been very much stock specific. So I'd highlight companies like Tesla, which has grown profitably with a lot of headwinds. Companies like Trade Desk, the demand-side advertising platform, which again has managed to grow very rapidly despite some headwinds in the advertising market, and some of our biotech stocks like Moderna and Alnylam, where they've had very positive news on their pipelines. Then on the weaker side of things, regards to the fundamentals, basically all of the stocks that did best during the pandemic have been struggling in the last year because they've been coming up against really tough comps. So the e-commerce stocks like Amazon, Shopify, Wayfair, some of the work from home names like Zoom, for example, Netflix in entertainment, for example. And then we're starting to see some weakness in companies that are dependent on advertising for their business models. So Pinterest, Snap in the social media space, Roku in online streaming.
Thanks very much, Gary. Tough year, but it's ironic. Here we are on Zoom, and Zoom's been suffering. Here we are using it right now to communicate. So Simon, could you reflect on your performance in 2022? What went well and what didn't go so well?
Well, thanks. 2022 was a resilient year for the Merchants Trust. We had some very strong performances in sectors like energy, financials, tobacco and defence. And that offset much weaker performance in the more cyclical areas, which underperformed because of the pressures on the economy. The other good thing that happened last year is the income that we're receiving from dividends within the portfolio has continued to recover strongly from the pandemic, where we saw a number of companies cut dividends. And that helps support Merchants Trust's 40-year unbroken record of growing the dividend every year. So the income recovery is really helpful. And I think a third thing to point out is the volatility in the market, albeit caused by some pretty difficult and troubling circumstances, has created opportunities for stock pickers. So it's given us opportunities to buy really attractive businesses at very low valuations. So we've taken advantage of the opportunity in 2022 to make new investments.
Thanks very much, Simon. Great to hear about that dividend growth over 40 years, consecutive dividend growth. Phenomenal.